Let's go. The underground. Boom. And this is the underground. World News Live. Good evening. Man, right out the gate. Look at that. Lowrider, man. Did you really just dump 50 memberships? 50 memberships just dropped by Lowrider. I don't think I've ever seen such a thing. Thank you so much. For every last person out there that got one, welcome to the underground. Steely, thank you so much. Benny Mac, I think I seen as we was firing up one slit through. Thank you for the super chats. And all PayPals, coffees, it's all appreciated to the fullest. All prayers and all sharing as well. D. White, Hoodie Ross, Sean, Kev Bar, Tacos. Everybody out there, man, that shares the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback, everyone. Hope all is well with you. DJ Jenkins says, damn, keyboard error? Nah, man, the brother Lowrider rolls hard, man. He, when he comes through to make a statement, he makes a statement. Much appreciated. Good to see everybody out there. Habanero, Dre from the Ville. I hope you're doing well. We got a lot going on, man. trying times in a crazy world. Going to cover as much as possible here in the next couple hours. Get this knocked out. John Boy, member for 15 months. Benny, much love. Everybody out there, hope you're doing good, man. I don't have anything on the weather lined up, but I do know that there's a freak kind of cold snap moving through the area. I mean, we were just like in the 80s or something, like touching it, and like we're going down to freezing. Like, what's going on? Like, all within like a 24-hour window. I talked to my people across the country. They're like, we're seeing snow all of a sudden. Like, what? Like, I don't want to hear that word. But looks like it's going to be a little blip on the radar and then back up to warm after that. So hopefully it doesn't mess with any of you too bad. DJ, much love. Dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. If you got anything you want to get to me, much love, Crown Jewels. Slotting in, me and him got a project or two. We always got something stewing on the back burner. Oh, let me just say this. And thank you, Tacos. Of course, Tacos is talking about music you guys have not heard yet. I appreciate the feedback. Some of the cats, the guys around me, that I'm hollering at on a daily basis, I might finish something up and be like, yo, give me some feedback on this. And I appreciate it. But I'm working on doing some videos for this music, and we're going to kind of switch gears here. You know, it's all about attacking the beast, exposing the beast, Illuminati for me, war against this beast, fighting the good fight. And not only do I do that in like, you know, covering all the action that takes place daily and then do these live streams, but we also make music where we try to drop the truth in it as much as possible. Just to keep people awake, like when the Greek goes down and so many others that we've dropped. And in my music, I'm always hitting on something like that. And we've got some good ones coming up. And I'm going to be creating the music videos with some different programs. Now, this day and age, there's so much to choose from out there and things like that. I decided I'm just going to do it all myself instead of paying someone else bukus. I'm just going to learn it, do it myself. And then once I got it mastered, well, then if you guys need anything done, you can just holler at me in that department as well. But the songs themselves and the message in them, the themes, have me excited, just to tell you. I guess if it didn't, I wouldn't make it, but we're going to keep on plugging away. And if I can create, use to our advantage, one of these programs to show us like running, like the visuals. Like, since I don't have the money, I'm not in Hollywood, I can't go out and do all this other stuff. It'll never happen unless I create it with one of these programs and show us, like, just for example, just one of the storylines. There's a huge data center out in the middle of an island that you can't even hardly get to, right? And it's like the mother data center of evil. Destroy it, you destroy the beast. You see? And I can depict the whole thing of us like sneaking up into there, up into the inside chambers of the beast and destroying it. And show the visuals of it. Of course, it's not going to be real, but hey, it's using the tool to our advantage here and showing people the whole idea, planting the seed, whether through the music or the visual, that this whole beast thing that they're going to have to face from here on out, it's all about these data centers. And it's like the dark crystal. If it's destroyed, then it don't exist. It don't work. You see? Don't ever forget that. The there's some things that like they're not going to teach kids in school that like you need to like make them aware of in this life. Like there's going to be this whole apparatus is going to start clamping down from all angles. And all right, man, let's get this thing going. And I am watching the YouTube chat there tonight. I don't have D Live up, but I will pull it up here before the show's over, load up a chest and all that. I forgot to do it last time. My apologies. I'll double it up. We're going to start here with another event where someone's trying to bust into an airport. Now, I showed here recently some guys that snuck into the airport that's housing Epstein's aircraft, one of his jets. And they found some pretty curious things in there. They showed little USB drives and all this other stuff, which my thinking is if they would have, I'm sure they got a visit. If they got busted, especially, doing something like that, they're going to track back everything off that account to the people, to all types of stuff. Just makes you wonder, though, what was on them USB drives that was left in there. I can only imagine. It's pretty crazy stuff, but this is a incident where a man was at the Daytona Beach airport and he breached the area using his car and he attempted to enter airplanes on the runway. 58-year-old Brian Parker rammed his blue Mustang through the fencing and then drove onto the runway. Like, what the? One eyewitness said it was like watching a movie. He was going so fast. So they shot him, or they apprehended him here. We'll play this clip here.
We start tonight with a Fox 35 exclusive, a bizarre break-in at Daytona Beach International Airport. Deputies say a highly intoxicated man rammed his car into a gate and then drove onto an active runway. We're told he then tried to hop inside of two airplanes. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm John Brown. Fox 35's Manny Martinez joins us live at the airport. So, Manny, this all happened in just 30 seconds.
It was so fast, John, and airport staff got to him. We spoke with a witness who explained that the suspect drove through this access road at such a high rate of speed, she couldn't believe what she was seeing. We'll turn around because it's through this gate that he busted through with his blue Mustang, and you'll see on the ground right here is the old gate. They have since replaced it with a temporary fence. This car is not supposed to be here. It was sitting on a taxiway at Daytona Beach International Airport. Volusia Sheriff's deputies say the highly intoxicated driver of the blue Mustang crashed through this gate.
It was like watching a movie. He was going so fast. I'd probably say about 70 to 80 miles an hour. And then he hit the curb, bounced off the curb, and went straight through that fence.
It was about 4:30 in the afternoon when airport staff says he also drove through an active runway used for training flights. Deputies say he then tried to get into a running plane with people already inside. When that didn't work, they say he tried to get into two other empty planes. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University freshman Skylar Ingber heard about the commotion and hurried to snap these pictures.
It was super exciting for me because, I wasn't doing anything this afternoon. Everyone had their phone out and everything. It was insane.
Only Fox 35 was here as crews replaced the security fence. It took them less than 4 hours. The old one is in tatters and on the ground, next to what looks like a sheared-off driver's side mirror. Some passengers told us the breach forced a short delay.
We weren't told what was going on or what happened. We just were told that something happened with another plane, and we were delayed about 25 minutes.
So they got that fence done quickly. The guys told us they've done this here before. Right now, we don't have the suspect's name. We're told he'll face multiple charges, and we're also told that the FBI is part of this investigation. Live in Daytona Beach, Manny Martinez, Fox 35 News.
That's crazy. I'd have been just like that old boy that was like, oh, that's pretty exciting and nothing going on. So this brings me to the next setup. And all my Southern California cats, please chime in on this one. So, all my cats in the area that may have some info on this, right here from Lowrider down to Geo, a big power outage hit Southern California. Now, I woke up to a ton of people sending me links, lights out, like it's a huge event, crazy event. And it was kind of widespread. I mean, there was a lot of links and a lot of people talking about it. But by the time I got my hands on it this morning, I looked at the comments and I could then see that, power was restored to some areas. And there was no explanation, was the big thing. I was looking for a cause and I never could find a cause. So if you guys know of what happened to cause this, let me know. I'm going to run the video here, just kind of showing a blackout across SoCal. See right here, large areas. So I can imagine by looking there, different neighborhoods for sure in the dark. You can see the highway, all the cars coming down it, but everything around it in the dark. So I mean, that's a good shot. That's kind of the best way to get a blackout. The perspective of it is near a highway like that, or with the horizon. Also, with the cars moving, it just shows you how much of everything else is in the dark. Especially if you can see the buildings on the horizon, like I've seen in other shots. Not this one, but still see it's been hit. Frank, thank you so much for the super chat. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Test run, huh? You know, I'm looking here. Checking the comments there just to see. I guess nobody knows. No power outage in my area at all. Taz Riot. Hey, thank you. I seen a map and it looked like it get affected areas. Thank you for the feedback though. I guess we don't know if anyone does know. At me so it doesn't slip past me. At me there in the chat at Dabu77. Blackout. Was it glitching? Off for this next. Let me see if I got a 5x5. Navy, thank you so much for that. Checked out for a few seconds, but it's back 5x5. Just waiting to see some 5x5 action here. Uh-oh. No power problem glitch. Go over and check some things. I had to check Restream because I had some issues there. Okay. Global awareness. Thank you. That was the best update yet. And thank you everybody for the 5x5s. Want to make sure we're good here before we keep on going. We've got Trump putting his signature on US dollars. It's breaking a tradition that goes back to 1861. Okay, so Trump, first president in history to have his signature put on US paper currency. Like, that's what it says right there. In an announcement on Thursday, Department of Treasury said the move would mark the 250th anniversary of the US. It will put both Trump and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's signature on future U.S. notes. He will do whatever it takes to get his name plastered on anything in history, right? At this point. So yeah, all the money's going to have the Trump signature, so people know, and Besant's from here on out. So, when I seen Israel putting Trump on a currency, it was like only a matter of time. There was no way he wasn't going to get his signature or something, put on our currency. To me, it's Trump making the move there on the money. And let's look at the gold and silver real quick. Where are we at? 4,500 on the gold. And let's look at the silver. 70.52. We're closed tonight. This is back in a pretty good window right here. Pulled back. And if you don't know, some of the things here that affected this, Turkey dumped 58 tons of gold in the process here of the past few weeks after the war started with Iran. So we wondered why, a couple different things were happening during this pullback. Well, this is one of them. I covered another one the other day. That has to do with the fact that anyone that was holding silver as their hedge and they needed dollars to go buy something fresh, well, then you have to sell your hedge. And if it was gold, then you were dumping your gold. And a lot of cats were doing this because that was their hedge. And they were using the money to either buy a dip in the stocks, a dip in oil, or something like that, because they can't do it with gold. You see how it all fluctuates? These moves end up going down. So, this is a good pullback. If you look at the chart, it's healthy. Looking at that, that's a healthy pullback right there on gold, in my opinion. And what you normally see from here is a little bit of a chop sideways. After it hits a dip like this, it has to find like a footing, maybe around the 4,500 range where it's at. And then it'll gradually start to rise, as you can see here, as it's been doing this whole time before it goes parabolic again. Gold's been running up hard though, so the market's rigged. No telling how far it may chop sideways, but it's all going to keep going north. So we just had one touch up here above 5,500, a record. I foresee another big run up and a double tap. It may bounce off of it again. Because most of the time, the third time is when it breaks through, up or down. We've seen it time and time again. Anyone that's been out here charting and actually trading throughout the years, you see those patterns over and over and over again. And gold just falling into a wedge here. Again, it should consolidate. I don't know that others will do the same. Some of the other metals may play catch up here, like silver. I don't know. I'm hoping silver keeps falling back. I'd love to see the $50 to $60 range on silver. That's like a buy all day, if you ask me. Let's go to Schiff here. I want to get an update from him. He's the gold bug. And as I play this, I'm going to get a reset here on the YouTube chat screen because nothing's moved for a minute. The chat has, but like nothing else, like none of the other numbers. And hopefully Restream holds up. So here we go.
I don't even think there's a contest because I don't think Bitcoin qualifies as any kind of money. So it certainly does win a monetary battle versus gold. And in fact, gold is not going to become the reserve currency. Gold is money. Gold is a reserve asset that backs up currencies. What gives currency value is the gold that backs it up. The problem with fiat currencies is that they're backed by nothing. Legitimate currencies are backed by gold. But I think that foreign central banks are already moving more of their U.S. dollar reserves into gold because they are losing confidence in the U.S. dollar, in the ability of the U.S. government to pay its debts in honest money without resorting to a printing press. So I think that's the main reason that gold rose from 2,000 to 5,000 before the recent pullback. Now it's around 4,400. And yes, gold has gone down quite a bit since the beginning of the Iran war. I don't know if Bitcoin is actually up 6%. I mean, it looks about the same to me. It's, 68,000. I mean, that's about where it's been for months. So I don't know that Bitcoin has gotten any real bounce from the war, but it's held up surprisingly well. I would have expected Bitcoin to have fallen. I think it's going to fall. It's just taking a little bit longer. And I think gold's decline is going to prove to be short-lived. I think the reason that gold sold off is more of a liquidity event, and the markets got caught off guard by the Fed's about-face on rates. Now, not only do people expect the Fed not to cut in 2026, but now people think the Fed might hike, and that has hurt gold. But I don't think the postponement of rate cuts is negative for gold, because while the Fed is sitting on hold, and even if the Fed were to notch rates up slightly, inflation is going to soar so much in 2026. Real rates are going to collapse, and that's bullish for gold. But just to quickly get to the why gold is money and why Bitcoin is not, the most important characteristic that money has is it needs to be the most liquid commodity. And it has to be a commodity because it has to have its own use, independent of its use as a medium of exchange and a unit of account. It needs to be used for something. I mean, gold is used in industry, it's used in jewelry, it's used in aerospace, it's used in medicine, it's used in computers and electronics. It's the most useful metal on the periodic table. Now, it also has a lot of other characteristics that make it better money than other commodities that you could use.
Well, he's got a point in saying that, money backed by gold is worth something. But remember, they took the gold backing away from our currency. That was the fraud right there. But again, 99.9 of the cryptocurrencies are backed by nothing. And that was his point there. And it's the truth. Under a stress test, they would all fail. Like if, we've seen this before. And these markets are largely all ran by the news, like by news cycle, a doom and gloom cycle. Sell the news oftentimes is the word in crypto. Of course, I'm not... the whole crypto thing to me is a trap through and through. It's all it is. It was all put out there to warm people up to blockchain, digital currency, and to get you warmed up to coming onto their new system, which is going to be based on the same thing. And some of us have seen it from a mile out and have called it. I've called it for over a decade. The beast blockchain. And they still haven't implemented it fully, which is good. But it's like coming at any time. The big thing that I've seen, that I've been waiting for, is this new guy that's going to get put into the Fed Reserve. Right? Powell is on his way out. Did you hear what he just said? He said some people think they're going to hike. If they hike the rates, dude, they're going to crush us. But I think that's the plan. And all they keep saying, remember the little slogan, short-term pain, long-term gain. Yeah, they planted those seeds out there for a reason. This is all magic and witchcraft, man. It's happening. And the Mar-a-Lago Accord deals with the resetting the entire system, the structure. And the best way to do that, I guess, right now, is the way they're taking it in their eyes. You still have to have an event. You still have to have an event where the money is held hostage. You have to have a way to get the people to jump onto their new way. And thus far, people are reluctant to do so. They don't want to see. A lot of people see it, whether it's they're screaming they don't want a CBDC or anything like that. Trump's done shown his hand in that they're really trappy when it comes to this whole crypto thing. They've used it to their advantage to make billions. They've ripped off their base in doing so. That's where they made the billions. That's where all the money came from. That's how it works. And a lot of people got duped. He didn't do it once, he did it twice with the Trump coin and Melania coin. Again, warming people up to the blockchain, the whole thing. But you're only going to get the masses on it if it's like, it's got to be a widespread event, right? It's got to be on the news. Everybody's got to be talking about it that day. Like, everybody's got to be affected. It's got to be a huge event. It could be huge, but really not actually devastating. Okay? Panicky a little, yeah, but they don't care. I'm talking like it would be as big as like 9/11, scale wise. It would be coast to coast, anywhere. All U.S. banks like brought down, where you couldn't access your money. You just couldn't get it out. Simple. They could say it's a glitch, a hack, or anything. You have to have it like that. You have to have it like that because you have to have an event that gets the whole crowd onto your new system. And all you would have to do is say, download this app. That's all you have to say. That's it. Just all the sheep out there, just go download this app. They'll panic. I don't know how long they'll make people panic. They like panic, but maybe they're quick and easy about it. I mean, it's going to be right there. This is their chance because they have a new system sitting there waiting. They have it all sitting there waiting. We've known all this. So you just need a big event to get the people onto the new system. And you need it to be big. You need it to be large scale, multiple banks. It could be a big Iranian bank hack attack or whatever. But what it does, it gets everybody just onto the new system. You'll have the same amount of money in your bank account. It'll spin the same way pretty much off a card at the store. It's just on a brand new system connected to blockchain in the ledger, of which most people have no clue and don't understand. And I would think that they would like to pull this event off before the masses snap out of it and wake up to this whole thing, because once they do, it's going to be harder to pull off on them. So the sooner, the better for them, not for us, because the people are not educated. People like me and others out there, we've been trying to educate the pack for a decade. And it's insane. Just relentlessly. Gone all out. But this is where we're at. Like, we're just in a way. So I foresee that actually happening. And I've said this before. On the new dude's watch, when Powell's gone. We've been waiting for May, because that's when it happens. So when May comes around, there's nothing else to wait for. Once that new guy's in there, it's it. That's all we were waiting for. Like, huge things can happen, and they will. Trump's on record saying that he was sent to do all this. They're going to do it. All right, let's jump on to the U.S. Postal Service. Their plans here for an 8% fuel surcharge. This is going to stifle things, man. I've had and seen nothing but issues with packages getting delivered and shipped ever since lockdowns. It went real bad and it recovered a little bit, but it's never been the same as it used to be. And I'm not even going to go into the details of the chaos with some of these other places that I've been to. It's been nightmarish. Just put it that way. It's gone to crap. To go to Louisville here in Kentucky. This is a big case. They just shelled out $800,000 in a huge case here, because what this represents is people that have been forced to do things that are like against their religion and that they don't like, and they were forced to do it. And now the city of Louisville in Kentucky agrees to pay $800,000 in fees to settle a case with a Christian photographer who fought to protect her religious and free speech rights over multiple years of litigation because she did not want to, I guess, photograph same-sex marriages. And she was forced to. So it's gone all the way to the Supreme Court, and basically it's been upheld to where this is like a win for the people, pretty much, and it didn't go into the favor of the state here. Basically saying that no, she's got a right that you can't infringe, but we see our rights getting infringed left and right. All these things I'm playing from other countries, even the Pierce Morgan clip where he was sitting there talking about in the UK, like there is no freedom of speech, and like if they don't have it, it's like not enshrined like it is in the United States. It's like, well, it's true, like, and we've got to protect it or they're going to take it. Remember, there's people out there that get butthurt over memes and can't handle it, and they want to make it to where you can't use Grok to, like, make some funny images or something because they find it offensive. They can't handle it. Take a joke. Like, that's ridiculous. You should have the freedom of expression as long as it's not harming anyone and you're not going to spewing hate speech and attacking them and threatening their lives or anything like that. You should have the freedom of expression. I mean, they can go meme right back if they want, but they just would rather cry and strip you of your freedom. You see, let's go to jobs. This isn't so much on jobs getting wiped out, but it shows that no more new jobs are coming. Microsoft freezes all hiring in the cloud and sales department. Stocks, the worst start to a year on record. You got to watch the signs. Told you, it's not tracking good. A lot of places showing a bad track here in the past 12 months coming up to right now on the stocks. And AI has everything to do with it. You can see right here the AI disruption returns. This time, it's a cybersecurity stock tumbling on a report of Anthropic putting out a new AI model. And what's the problem with the model? Well, it poses a significant cybersecurity risk. Then how in the world can you even put it out there? These are my immediate questions, but they're doing it. It's like a setup to me, man. It's all a setup, man. These demons, they have no oversight, no one above them. They're all just doing whatever they want and taking it as far as they want, killing whoever they want. Least, thank you for that. Much love. So AI disrupting things in many different ways. And it seems like this whole thing that I showed you on the last stream, that I played a video, I'm not going to play it here, but it's what they call Figure 3. It's an AI-powered robot, and it accompanied Melania out, and it was really creepy. Well, they're saying that this signals the admin's push into physical AI, and that you're going to see this now everywhere. They tried to like push it out on the people with Kim Kardashian and all that and some other famous people out there, but I guess it didn't catch on the way that they wanted. So they staged this whole thing and blasted it on C-SPAN, of all things, at their free broadcasting across the country, making sure everyone saw this event. The initiation, basically, of O3, this AI robot that they like were clapping for, and AI was so, I don't know. That's where we're at, though, man. These robots are not going away. I told you, you better start training in taking these things out, because these things weaponized it's Terminator. It's the nightmare. It literally is. It's that coming into reality. And Elon's got legions. He does. He's got legions. I'll never forget when they interviewed him. It was like the one thing he was lacking. They were like, "Oh, you're the richest man on the planet. You got more power than a king in controlling a country." And he's like, "Not really." He's like, "I don't control legions." Like, what? Like, he wanted legions. And with these bots, he got legions. It's nuts. They can eliminate humans. And through AI, let me tell you, 1,000,000 bots, AI, warrior bots, will wipe out like civilization. They won't be stopped. Average man will not stop them. Average man will get wiped. And if backup arrives, just one or two other bots to help hold down a hostile neighborhood that might be fighting back, you're still smoked, because you're not going to beat them unless you're ready. I'll hold out the option that some of you will get ready and prepared, and you'll fight, and you will beat them and defeat them. Because there's some things that just not going to be able to make their way out of, like, I don't know, a moat, or, a huge ditch line around your place that's deep, that they can't climb their way out of, or anything like that. Which they would do in the old days anyway, against and put spikes in, catch guys in. But this time, you're thinking tactically on what these bots can and cannot do. It's almost like a mouse that jumps into a bucket and can't get out because the walls are too high. This thing is not going to be able to get out. You're going to have to start thinking, and that might be the simple defense that we all need right there. I'm telling you, because something has to be done. We can all dig ditches. All right? Are you hearing me? Because someone's going to have to put this to use in the future. These things are a threat like I've never seen. Prodigy, thank you for that super chat. Much love. I appreciate the love and the support. Where we at here? Let's go to Tiger Woods. This is an interesting one because he gets in trouble again. He's arrested for DUI. And the way Trump responds, because it's his buddy, his golfing buddy at that, it's just kind of like, he did a little something or something. I don't know. I'll play the clip here. You'll see. Play a couple of them here.
We are just getting these reports that Tiger Woods, this is coming from our affiliate WPTV, golf legend Tiger Woods has been involved in a rollover car crash on Jupiter Island in Florida. It happened just after 2 p.m. Apparently, the reporting is that Martin County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating and that more details will be shared at 5 p.m. Obviously, we are trying to get information on his condition, and we're working on this. And as soon as we get any more details, we will bring them right to you.
And they said a rollover car crash. He didn't mention nothing of a DUI or anything like that at the gate. So he was speeding, drunk, and rolled his car. He was injured, and it, of course, had to go to the hospital, leg injuries. It says here, he was hospitalized with leg injuries in 2021. And here's Trump.
I feel so badly. He's got some difficulty. There was an accident, and that's all I know. Very close friend of mine. He's an amazing person, amazing man, but some difficulty. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, so he knew he was drunk. Amazing man, not drunk driving. Idiot, man. I'm not going to play this whole police presser. Idiot, man. That's how he'll cover his drunk driving friends right there. Oh, amazing, man. Like, get out of here, you piece of garbage. should be prosecuting him with no bias to the fullest extent, like anyone else. He shows favoritism all over the place, and obviously against his enemies. You know, all this. Well, here is a crazy one. Siblings indicted in an alleged IED plot at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. One suspect believed to have fled to China. This Alan Zing and his sister, Anne Mary Zing, indicted in connection with taking this IED onto the base. This is home to CENTCOM and U.S. Special Operations Command. And it was in a suspicious package outside of the Visitor Control Center. So they're going down for that, and it's all connected to China. So great, we got cats showing up here in pairs, trying to roll up with IEDs connected directly to China. Directly to China. So it's like, that's the thing with China, though. Unlike other countries, like everyone born there has to like have an allegiance to the CCP. It's crazy. Like militarily, like you got to be a spy for them. Like they don't tell you that here if you're an American, you're born, or much of any other country. Like, but like China, they do that with their people. It's crazy. That's why you can't trust it. Anyone that's coming from there, because they've already sworn that allegiance to be a spy for the country. It's one thing to swear an allegiance, you know, to protect the country, but to be a spy and to like, it just changes the game. So let's jump into the cartels here in fentanyl. And I got to say that, you know, anytime a story pops up where they're taking fentanyl off the streets, it's a positive for me. It's a win, but I don't trust none of the news, none of the polls, hardly any of the numbers they tell us, or the government, period. But they're saying that a 60% drop has happened in terms of fentanyl coming in across the border. Now, I could see how some of that is possible because they have locked down the border in a way that we haven't seen before. They actually have people down there and they're doing all types of different stuff. And to me, a huge war is breaking loose right now with the cartels. It's just a weekly thing here. It's going to start leveling up, if you ask me, in terms of attacks. Both ways. I think maybe, you know, the other side's been reluctant to attack in America too much until we start striking them. And the crazy thing is as soon as we pull out of the whole Iran thing or finish it up, all that stuff's heading back this way, all that military equipment. And it's going to go back into the Caribbean. It's going to go back to surrounding Mexico, Cuba, all those areas. It's going to go back to that. Unless they're pulled to another war front, like around Taiwan or something like that, which is the only other thing I could really see happening. But China is where ultimately they say most of this comes from. Lands over in Latin America, makes its way through Mexico into the United States, which is the ultimate destination. I've seen more people killed in this lifetime. I've seen more people killed in this lifetime from fentanyl than any other thing ever. I've seen more people, I've had more people that I've known in this life personally die from fentanyl. Just hearing from people, cat from high school's dead. Oh yeah, what happened? What do you think? As soon as you hear, what do you think? Especially from my boy Scotty, it's always the same thing. It burns me up. More than anything, I know more people that's been eliminated through fentanyl, and these are not people that were seeking death. They might have been seeking a buzz, maybe even in some of the cases, for sure, people didn't even know what they were touching or getting their hands on because the stuff's not what they say it is. They think you're taking a little pain pill, take away some pain from somebody for a headache, and they're dead. We've seen it happen. I personally know people in circles where it's happened. In the horror stories left and right. Again, more people killed from fentanyl in my life than have died of natural causes in old age. That's a tactical elimination of your people. It's a tactical elimination of our people. And it's been working. So, Trump he talks all this crap. And he's in on the whole thing. And, of course, his buddy Xi Jinping, where it's all coming from. But, look, 60% reduction. That's what they're saying. So let's hope less is on the streets. That's all you can hope for. Here's some data on where ICE has been more effective than other places. They're rolling them out in the airports and stuff, but when you look at this, they're showing that Miami and Florida is pulling in and logging 10,000 arrests, outpacing all these other places like Dallas, Atlanta, and San Antonio. So that's like one end of the spectrum. And then you've got like LA and Chicago. They saw big crackdowns. They saw the arrest numbers peak, but then they fell. Of course, when ICE and all that it rolls out of there, the numbers are going to fall for sure. But some of these other cities, man, they have a different situation than others, man. It's just the way it is. Some cities are set up different, ran different, and the policies are crazy in some of them. When you've got leadership in a city that's got pedos and rapists and murderers sitting in a cell, and people show up and are like, look, we're going to take them and ship them out of the country, especially the illegal ones, and they don't do it, that's like criminal. That's like, what are you doing then? Do you got a plan? Don't you dare release them out the back door into the streets. But that's what they do. And see, that right there is a crime. And the governor, the mayor, whoever, the police chief, whoever allows that should get arrested. The second a pedo or a known rapist and murderer is just let loose to go do it again, they should all be held accountable. But we don't see no arrests. Let's just make that clear. We talk about the crazy stuff all the time. We have been ever since Trump got in there and the Doge team, all this crap, but no one's ever gone to jail. Even the whole Epstein thing, no one's gone to jail. But here you have Sean Duffy. He's Trump's guy over here, blaming Biden's transportation secretary Pete Buttigieg for allowing all this stuff to happen with the trucking things. He's saying he gave them permission to self-certify. What? Like, I don't get it. Like, how can it ever be legal or possible? And how come like there was like, oh, there's so many questions. No one called this out, stopped this. Self-certify? Like, come on. And when they go to explain this, it's like, come on, someone had to have known this.
We have thousands of people who can't speak the language, long-standing rule, and it's a safety issue, right? If you can't understand road signs, if you can't communicate with law enforcement when you're pulled over and communicate what's on your rig, huge problem. But the last administration, Mr. President, they let truck driving schools self-certify that they were qualified to train truck drivers. And so this is like the Leering Center. So you pay $800 and you get a certificate that you passed
Trump's
a CDL
laughing about it.
driving
Everybody's
school.
laughing about it. Like, Biden, them are idiots. this whole thing is like a bunch of stooges up here, man. How are you even gonna laugh? Because all I can think about are the innocent people that die. I just reported on it on the last stream. Another one, an Indian guy, could not speak a lick of English. They're killing people left and right, trying to do a U-turn in the middle of a freaking full-blown highway and just wiping everybody out. Like, they keep doing it. But here's an example right here of kind of what's going on in this clip.
Salida derecha. Can you say it in English what that means? What does it mean? How good is your English? Entiendo algo un poquito. Can you speak any English? No. Don't speak no English. What does that mean? Yes. What does it mean? No. What does it mean when you go down, you see the sign? What does that mean? What do you have to do? No. Okay. 40 años troquero desde Cuba. Okay. If you don't speak enough English to be operating a commercial motor vehicle, okay? You also don't have enough knowledge of the signs to even say it, okay? So this right now you're gonna be placed out of service, okay?
So he's showing him a sign, a picture of a stop sign. Like, when you see this, what do you need to do? It says stop. I mean, it's like a gimme. And the guy can't do it still. Like, no. Like, no. Like, they just know the basic yes, no. You know, that's it. It's bad. Now, I don't know, man. They got to get this cleaned up. There should be Americans out there, you know, that have an opportunity to get these jobs, that pay a decent wage, and that know how to speak and to do all this. But I don't know. The whole job thing has been such a lie. The numbers they put out was a lie. And look at this. This is kind of crazy. They put out this cryptic image and video. Tacos. You said something about this earlier, like don't download the app because it's probably got, you know, some backdoor stuff on it or something. Like, here, it wasn't trustworthy. Well, the White House puts out a pixelated image and then some cryptic stuff about an exciting new announcement. And apparently it was all pointing to the launch of freedom.gov. Like, give me a break. But yeah, that's what it says here. If you guys got something else on that, let me know in the chat. But I mean, people were flipping out about that, and I don't know. Let's go to some fraud out of California. Not a surprise, but I like seeing people out there. Everyday people break stories, you know that need to be broke. But when some cats get out there, I don't know, they can get subdued by the beast, so to speak. Like, you have to be very careful. Like, for instance, coming up, doing what I do, throughout the years, like, there was always always had a personal, like, kind of thing against old AJ in the way that they ran things, because I didn't think that it was all done with righteous intention. And there was big shilling and the selling of all the products and your male vitalities and, you know, all this stuff that was just like, it didn't represent realness. And it was like the battle. And, like, to me, there was cats out here that represented the good and the bad. Well, there was cats on his staff that I ended up meeting throughout the years. All kinds of different cats. Some which ended up being cool, some not. Because everyone's different. even someone that could even still be connected there. Like, for instance, Rob Dew. I met him in the streets, and Rob Dew always gave me nothing but respect, love, gave me an interview, put me on InfoWars, something I never thought would happen because of the whole situation. He did, and he was nothing but respect, and we kept it there always. And it just goes to show that, like, even if I had a difference of opinion, with AJ the whole time and everything I just told you, that like someone else come along with respect, and there'd be respect there. But I personally, because of just how things are, it's like I just something wasn't to be trusted with the upper echelon of the whole gatekeeping thing, right? So it's like replace AJ with Elon. It would be the same thing. Like, yeah, you could have some interesting combo in this and that, but like, you would never see me as a buddy right there with Elon ever in this, unless he came to the righteous side, right? Which isn't gonna happen. I don't think. I'm not gonna rule it out, but I don't think. So when I see people that are supposed to be neutrals out here and potentially from the streets or one of us, and you see them all of a sudden running with the upper echelon shills, is my point. I don't think they're to be trusted. Because it seems to me they sold out real quick. And when you shouldn't be selling out. Look, I've met all these characters. Are you kidding me? All the years I've been out here in this realm, all the different names and faces, I've seen them come and go. There's definitely shills out here, and gatekeepers. That's for sure. But you'll tell them all by their fruits. That's the beautiful thing. If you have the eyes to see, like me, tell them by the fruits. It's just like Rowdy Piper and They Live with the Shades. It's like you can see through all the BS. Doesn't matter what they say. Doesn't matter what they do. Like you can just tell by their actions and their movement what's really going on. And that's a gift. Don't you ever forget that. Here is, I want to play this clip though. This is O'Keefe, which is another individual that, like, I again, if I had a chance to strike up a good conversation, I would, but he seems to have filled a gatekeeper role all the time out there because he's done some stuff that, like, if you and I did it, like, you'd be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's made no sense throughout the years. I don't know, but some of the stories he covers is important. So this has to do with the fraudsters in the election. That's what I want to get at here. It's hard for me to even play this because I don't believe the election stuff's fair and righteous anyway. I believe it's all rigged. And well, this is just one other aspect showing how rigged it is, I guess.
How do you decide whether somebody uses their name or somebody else's name?
Well, I ask them some questions like, when are you registered to vote? And if they remember something, like, okay, then I just let them go. You know what I mean? I let them sign. But if they don't remember, or they from out of state, the game bearing guys, they'll give us a list of names. I mean, not a list, but they'll write it on a piece of paper or whatever. And I just give it to them, you know.
So when they pull the people's names, like when people don't have their
I have
address,
no idea where they get it from.
Where do you think they get it from?
They get it from the registration office. They pay a lot of money from the registration office directly.
The state?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The registration office is corrupt as hell. But it's legal though. What they're doing, getting it is legal because you can legally do it, but it's a lot of money you gotta pay to get the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they can just pull, is it like a voter registration or a DMV or something?
Yeah. No, it's a voter registration office.
Oh, they get it right from the voter
Straight from them.
Wow.
Yeah. It's corrupt as fuck.
That's crazy.
You can see right there just how simple the process is. I mean, how streamlined it is. It's nuts. So if you apply that to every other city, every other town, every other everything, and everything is set up like this, especially under the Dems, it's smoked. It's done. What this does to me is like it seems like they're getting ready to replace it. We talk about the Great Reset and the reset of all the stuff, the financial stuff, but like there's going to be a reset of like everything here, and like I feel also in terms of the whole voting thing. Um, you see, it's been said before, if you put it on blockchain, this and that, in an open blockchain, it can't be manipulated. You can't do well. See, they would never want that. They would want if they could hide behind the scenes and they could manipulate for sure. You know, that they act like they don't have access to, but do. But in all open blockchain, I mean, really, you know, everyone, it makes no sense. It never really has to me. Like they want to keep it secret, like when you're going into the booth, okay, who you're voting for, but you have no problem, you know, everyone's out there wearing their MAGA hat in line, you know, letting you know who they're voting for, or this and that, talking in line about who they're voting for, letting it be known, got signs in their yard. Everyone's proud of who they're voting for. Right? Well, then what's the big secret then? Keep it open. If the way I see it is like this. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Listen. Try this one time. Swear to you. Try this one time. I said it a long time ago. I'm gonna bring it back up. Just throw it out there. Like, this is the age of AI and satellite anyway. The voting system should be, since we can like scan everyone everywhere from the air, you should make it like a rule that like on voting day, a clear weather voting day, everybody has to go outside that votes for a certain person and like stand in like an open field. And like you can't deny this at this point because then everybody's out there together. It's all registered right there. You can see it. It's not hidden. It's not secret. You can't manipulate it. You can count every head. And it's done. It's done. Town by town, city by city. Throw a righteous AI on top of it and calculate it real quick. Righteous. You see? Then when you'll know the truth. You see how easy that was? Everybody wake up. Wear your red shirt, blue shirt, whatever you want to wear. Step outside, vote. Step outside, be seen. And like, you know, you could do it different ways too. Like step outside today if you vote for this person. And do a whole nother day for a different person. Or you could do it many different ways. But it's just the idea that like you could beat the system if you wanted to. But people put a blind faith into a broken system, expecting some kind of miraculous result every time. And that's kind of like insanity. You gotta switch it up. You gotta take the power out of their hands while still utilizing technology righteously. Why not do it? Huh? You could wheel anybody out there that wanted to vote. Saying even in a wheelchair, is wheeling outside, get some fresh air. Like you're voting today, man. It's going outside, get fresh air. That's it. Get a snapshot of it. Throw it in a database. That snapshot from the air will show them sitting in that wheelchair right there on that day, at that moment, all times. You can't manipulate it. Can't unless you want to start committing a crime and then going and hacking into the database and trying to. Then that's a whole different animal. Anyone could try to commit a crime, but then they're having to commit open crimes like that. Let them get caught doing it then, if they're going to do that or not. What? Or whatever. People don't seem to care out here about nothing, right? We got people committing fraud, ultimate levels, billions of dollars in fraud, and like no one gets caught. No one gets caught for nothing. So, big old goose eggs. Let's move on to some rather interesting Secret Service 2 stories connected to the Bidens. All right, let's look at this one. A Secret Service agent shoots himself in the leg while escorting Jill Biden. Okay, so their detail, one of their agents shot himself. And then this one says a former Biden security staffer arrested for killing his girlfriend. Nation Wood, 25, arrested after allegedly shooting his girlfriend Samantha Emge Tuesday night. And he was a security staffer for Biden's Secret Service. Wow, so just never know out there. Let's jump into some Epstein stuff. 5 nights in Epstein's. Have you heard of this yet? This is a new one. This is a game. A browser game. And kids are playing it in school. I first heard about this, but I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know somebody went and actually made a full-fledged game. But yet that's what's here. And how did it get fed to the kids so easy? How did we miss it? How did none of us have it on our computer or playing it or anything and just hearing about it? How was it fed to them first? How? You see, like this is nefarious. But kind of crazy. Like, I don't know what's in the game, what it shows, what kind of subliminals. I can only imagine, right? Right? I mean, but this is a game that takes on the role of victims trapped on Epstein Island. You got to try to survive 5 nights by avoiding assaults. Oh my gosh, dude. Its popularity has been fueled by social media, where clips of students playing have drawn large audiences and in some cases even demonstrate how to bypass school restrictions. The game's accessibility, though, through web browsers makes it especially easy for students to access on school-issued devices. Again, it's like, so parents and educators are alarmed. Oh, really? Like, when it comes to the educators, like how? Like, this is all happening right there in your rooms. It's just, it's funny that they're equating it to even like the school computers is what they're saying, is how they're able to access it. So that's where this popped up, was on the school computers, huh? Ah. Interesting. Wonder who fit this into the system. We're not going to find out that answer here. I can guarantee you that, but that's what's going on here. And that's the question that should be asked, because somebody did, made it, widely available for sure. They could have easily blocked it or blocked anything. They made sure these kids are playing it full scale like this. So this is pretty crazy. You're the kid trapped on the island. Epstein's chasing you around. And it's kind of like, it's one of them games where you're working your way around room to room and you're hiding. And like, oh no, you can hear Epstein's coming and you got to run, And if he sees you, you get assaulted. And who knows what he does to you? Bends you over and does whatever. Gives you spankings. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played the game, but it's like traumatizing people. And it's like what happens when Epstein catches you. Take you down to the basement. Do you go to the chair? Like what happens? Like, these are kids also seeing this and dealing with it. Is there any? Here's the thing. The violence, I guess, is one thing. They're going to say it's no different than like GTA or something. They're like, they're going to go home and there's sex and violence. There's more sex and violence in Grand Theft Auto, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to kind of have a point, but not really, because this is like, to me, like seeding pedographic crap in there. I don't know. I see all this stuff happen at school behind the parents' back, and I hate it. Don't you? Like, hey, if you hear your kids talking about the Epstein game, or maybe you should go ask them, like, hey, you guys got this? Some of you guys got plenty of kids. We'll go ask them, like, hey, y'all playing this pedo game or this Epstein game at school? And surely if it's happening, somebody's going to be like, oh, yeah, you know? Oh, there it is. You get a little talk, get some details. I can already see it now. I'm having like premonitions. Somebody coming. That look Desi J from the Ville. Cosby and Diddy are bosses. After defeat in the game, Cosby and Diddy are bosses. What? I don't know, man. Again, it's crazy. The kids would know. Behind the parents' back, right? So chaos erupts as House leaders reject a Senate-passed bill to fund DHS, which is down, our Department of Homeland Security, while we're at war. And senators are trying to get out of there for a 2-week recess. This isn't good. So they're trying to skip out for 2 weeks for a recess, all while we're in a war, and not fund, get DHS funded or anything else.
I just want to add, it is absolutely offensive to the people that we represent that the Senate would send over a bill that doesn't fund Border Patrol and the core components of ICE, particularly what the chairman's talking about with respect to stopping child trafficking. It's absurd. And the fact that they would expect us to take that up and pass it today as they leave town, I mean, could the Senate be any more lazy than to send to us a bill that doesn't do the job and then leave town? So we're going to stand up and say no to that. We're going to send back a bill that's responsible so that the American people can get behind us for wanting to secure the United States of America, defend the people, and do what we said we would do, and send it back over to the Senate.
Hey everybody, it's Chip Roy here from Texas 21, and what the Senate just sent over to the House is so laughably bad. We're rejecting it out of hand. They sent over a bill that's not going to fund ICE and Border Patrol and stand with the great men and women who are defending our country. We reject that. We're going to stand alongside our law enforcement personnel. We're going to have a full-throated debate. We're deciding what we're going to do, but suffice it to say, we need to stand with those who are standing up for us to defend our country. We need to fully fund them. We need to consider voter ID and other things to make our country safer and better. But we're not going to move this Senate bill. We're going to move something better and send it back to the Senate. We have to.
Absolutely ridiculous that we're sitting here, talking about this, and of all things that you're funding out there, and that you're not funding our homeland security in a time of war. Dude, that is a setup beyond setups. And when the future looks back at it, they're going to be like, it was obvious. Just like we look back at 9/11 and we see things that are obvious. This is going to be the same thing. Defense is down. When you look back, you can already tell from here, the 4 years, the whole Biden thing, let the enemy run up in here for 4 years. But then right now, even under Trump, defense is down. Like, we're about to get smoked. So I'm going to do some clips here of J.D. Vance giving his opinion on a few things with this. I'm not sure where this is going to end up with him. I think he's still going to be their man either way on the Republican side, running to be president. I just don't know, if he takes Newsom or if they give us Newsom at this point. That's where it's at with me until some new characters pop up or something. But, they're good at seeding these people into the minds of the masses for years and years. And that's how it works.
Talk about Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz.
Exactly.
And obviously Ilhan Omar, the president and the White House have been out saying that she married her, that there is immigration fraud going on here. These are deportable denaturalization offenses. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, so we actually think that Ilhan Omar definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. And I talked to Stephen Miller about this actually recently. We're trying to look at what the remedies are. That's the thing that we're trying to figure out is what are the legal remedies now that we know that she's committed immigration fraud? How do you go after her? How do you investigate her? How do you actually do the thing? How do you build the case necessary to get some justice for the American people? There's a related issue, Benny, which is she has been at the center of a lot of the worst fraudsters in the Somalian community. So do I know that Ilhan Omar was aware that the Quality Leering Center was defrauding the American people? I'm not certain of it, but we at least need to investigate it, because if people can commit wrongdoing without even the fear that they're going to be found out, that's a fundamental problem. So I'm worried about the immigration fraud. I'm also worried about what did Ilhan Omar know about what was.
All right, so that's about the immigration. In that, this one is interesting. What he says about aliens in terms of demons.
You're going to release all the UFO files?
We're working on it. It's funny. When I came in, I was obsessed with the UFO files. And then you start getting really busy worrying about the economy and national security and things like that. But I've still got 3 more years as vice president. I will get to the bottom of the UFO files.
Okay. Have you peeked? Have you done a peek?
Have I what?
Have you done a peek? Have you
So I actually haven't. I have
full
not.
Independence Day.
I have not been able to spend enough time on this to really understand it. Yeah. But I am going to. Trust me. I'm obsessed with this. I've already had a couple of times where I'm like, all right, we're going to Area 51. We're going out to New Mexico. We're going to sort of get to the bottom of this. And then the timing of the trip just didn't work out. But trust me, anybody who's curious about this, I'm more curious than anybody. And I've got 3 years of the very, very tippy top of the classification. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. So you haven't been to Area 51 yet?
Not yet.
Some
not
people
yet.
say they keep the UFOs in Ohio. They might,
Hangar 18, Hangar 18, right?
I've
heard that as well. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we're waiting for it. We saw aliens.gov.
You know me.
We saw aliens.gov.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. Because Barack Obama is on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but like, here's where they're not. And,
I did not.
And so Obama says, yes, aliens he gets asked point blank, are aliens real? He says, oh, yeah. And then he goes, but they're not at Area 51. And
where are they, Barack?
Well, that's what he says. Right. There's a great question.
Trump
had to go save him, and he said he's going to declassify.
Okay.
So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything as otherworldly, to describe it as aliens. I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed.
Wow. We're hinting at the fallen right there. And it's like every single person has come out and played their little role here recently, from Laura Trump, Trump himself, to now Vance speaking and hinting on this whole thing, and having their own little thoughts and opinions. Either way it goes, but I thought I'd play the take there. Tuge in the house. Much love, Steve. Everybody. We're in interesting times, man. We're in a time where wild things are in motion. Let's just put it that way. We did miss a window here that would have been like biblical in nature, that for certain factions, what the rabbis were saying, that they believe the return of their Messiah would happen on Nisan 1, and that apparently did not happen. And if it did, if the whole process did, they kept it secret. And the only reason I say that is because this is the same people that lied and said that they were doing a practice run of burning the red heifer. and they did the real deal. And then they came out afterwards. I played you the video. And the guy sat there and said, "Yeah, we lied about it. We kept it secret because we didn't want publicity on it," is what they said. They didn't want eyes on it and this and that. So they lied to everybody and they did the real thing. The whole purpose of the red heifer sacrifice is to get the ashes. The ashes are used for purification, and you have to have the ashes to purify what you're going to build the new temple. You see, and the whole thing with them is their Messiah is going to appear and announce himself to the world, in this window of time. But as they were saying just last week, and I was telling you, that's why Nissan 1 was so important to watch, because they said that it would take place there. But it could have happened, and they could be celebrating right now, and we don't know because they just haven't, the word's not out. They kept the other stuff under wraps so well. I mean, look, there's also other things you got to realize got to happen here for the prophecy side of all this and how they view it. They will make things pop off to bring about like World War III. They're fanatical like that. Even if it means, as you can see right now, places like Tel Aviv and parts of Israel taking hits and getting level and starting to look like Gaza, because they believe that the world has to go into this warring phase before the Mashiach steps onto the scene. Do you see? So it's like they're trying to trigger it. They're trying, these things have to happen before that can happen. You see? So they're trying to make sure of it. Whether they hit the windows or not is a different story. And we do have the ability here to push things back when we expose them. They've come out and admitted here before. I was just watching a video the other day that initially they were aiming for something with the whole lockdown things and stuff like that for 2016, and it got pushed back 3 years because of this and that, and largely because of people, information, and knowledge flow in all that, and pushback in different areas. And ultimately, they were able to do the little event 211 or whatever it was, and then history was made, right? I told you, like, lockdowns this time around, like right now, the current moment is going to be around energy. That's the theme. And it's a real thing because certain countries are low on gas, prices are spiking, other places are rationing fuel. And what you're starting to see is there's a plan. Whether it hits your neck of the woods or not, let's be smart about this. I'm seeing a plan. I'm seeing like laws in other countries already being rolled out quick to where there's a lottery on selecting license plates on who can drive on what days. You see, this is how it begins. And that's how you know there's a plot and a ploy. Somewhere in a meeting, people were getting together plotting these things to make them law behind our back. And now they're popping up. So I'm telling you, it's going to hit everywhere. Just like the rolling blackouts are going to hit with energy and all that over the summer. Get ready for it. They're bringing it. The hacks. Look, when the top of the FBI, so to speak, is getting openly hacked by the enemy, it's not good. And even though Trash Patel is just that, in a fraud, in my opinion, not serving the interest of the people, he has been hacked. And Iran supposedly taking credit for this, and they're trying to show you that the guy with the biggest authority and protection out there for the FBI and this and that, like, we got him. He can't even protect his own personal email. That's like a little warning. Like, look, we can do this. Just saying, like, no doubt about it. The seeds are planted that Iran is doing all this. So if the lights go out or things get shut down, drones start incoming, flying in from the sky by the thousands. Like, they've already planted the seed that it's Iran. Matter of fact, that Obama movie showed you the drone thing. So when it happens, you already know this, man. Look at another character here that's going to run in 2028. I want to point him out real quick. It's Rand Paul. He's trying to cite we got to move away from populism, which is where he's going to put JD Vance and all this stuff. But he's so dry and bland that in all this that I think he will be maybe a name in the race that we'll see, but it's just a name and it's not going to mean nothing. He'll pull down like small percentage, like a couple other characters, but you have to have that in the race, right? You got to have some stooges out there to run, knowing that, and he already knows that JD Vance is going to be the prime guy. And he'll try to pick him apart on all this. If they really wanted Rand Paul in there, I just don't see it. But
recently a headline in the Washington Examiner, Rand Paul sounds like he's running for president.
Yeah, I don't know yet. So maybe they know something I don't know. We're thinking about it. I would say 50-50. We'll make a decision after the election.
Yeah, so that's out of his own mouth. We'll see. But it seems like he'll be a character, a name on the list to choose from. It seems. So, Trump signs a memo directing DHS to pay TSA agents and that the first checks should be there by Monday. So you're saying 50,000 TSA agents have been stifled. That's a lot of people that are in charge of security. Again, all these things feel like part of a test run. Like all these little areas are getting tested right now to see what happens when they're lacking in that department. And they just did it. For sure. Pentagon weighs sending another 10,000 troops to the Middle East. That's great. If you don't know, we've got 7,000 to 9,000, somewhere in between there, of Marines about to touch down. Well, they said by Friday. And then Trump extended this deadline 5 more days. It just tells me they need more time to get situated on the ground for what they're planning to do here. All Trump and the West has shown me this whole time is all this time that they're saying is going to be used for talk and peace. It's been a bluff every time. And it's just been a chance for them to get repositioned and instantly strike from an advantageous point. And Iran's seen it one too many times. They're like, we're not doing it again. That's why they keep saying Trump's lying. Trump's over here saying we won. Literally, like, oh, I think we won. Let's wrap it up and pack it up. And then Iran's like, dude, we're about to thump you. Like, you're a liar, pedo in chief. They're calling him these things. They're dropping AI videos left and right every single day, attacking him. And it has an effect. It's having an effect because they're showing the world through these AI things that when they put innuendos in there like pedo in chief and the Epstein clan and all that, they're dropping seeds, man. They're dropping seeds. Planting seeds, you understand? That's what this is all about. An awakening people to the truth. And it's crazy. It's happening in real time. And outside of just, they can't seem to stop it, like censor it. Like these posts are getting through, like Iran can get them out. They're not in the dark completely there. Matter of fact, there's not a massive blackout in Iran right now. You largely got to keep the people happy there or they're going to be pissed at you from here on out. And right now they're trying to fight a fight with Iran out in the Straits of Hormuz, which Trump is trying to rename to the Strait of Trump. Okay? If he did that, that tells me all the signs are there. Like the 82nd Airborne is in the area about to drop in. Like they are there. They're like in bases as close as they can get. As soon as they load into planes for drop, they're dropping. Where would they drop? They're not going to drop into Iran on mainland, I don't think. Carr Island is positioned to be the spot that they would take, and they've even telegraphed it. Some are saying it'd be a stupid move. Others are saying it'd be a bold move. If they do it, this war is never going away. That's how important this entire weekend into this next week is with all this. Trump keeps saying, oh, we've won, and it's going to be over. It just feels like the moment is almost right for a huge staged event to happen, to propel this thing. To get ready, the atmosphere's warming up, summer gatherings. I'm warning you, it's about to happen. It's all about to happen, like we've always known. All these things happen that we call, how's it not? This is going to be right on cue. This could be a wild summer. There's going to be blowback here for sure. I would watch the soccer events because they put it on the Rothschild magazine. In the U.S. and Mexico. And I can't believe that they're actually going to try to hold an event down there at a stadium where they found bodies. Like, this stuff is all ritual. Oh my gosh. All right. So I think I lost power here. I disconnect. I just had an internet disconnect. Pause. All right. 5x5. Hold on a second. We get this back up. Looks like it pulled everything to my other screen. Let me pull it back up over here. I had I kicked the power thing. that one was on me. And my bad for that. Yeah, I had a power thing here that because I didn't even know what happened at first. I'm like, oh my god, everything went out here in the corner. I'm like, what the? All right, it could have been way worse. So we're back. We're good to go here. Again, that was on me. Let me just show you here the 3 islands. I want you to see and know, and thank you for the feedback, everyone. 5x5s, all the feedback. I want you to see where this is all going down. I want you to like have it in your mind, kind of like what's going on here with these islands. 3 main islands that they're talking about here: Lesser Tumb, Greater Tumb, and the Abu Masa. Okay, these 3 spots are key. You can see Abu Dhabi's right there. You can see Dubai is right there. Like, that's how close this is to all this. Like, that's why Dubai has been rocked to all this, because rockets raining down in this whole area because Iran's right there. Affected them big time. So they're talking about trying to make a move on these islands. Now, look, U.S. signals, they have no immediate plans for a ground invasion. Well, it's kind of like, that's exactly what they would say if they were getting ready to do it. That's the crazy part. Iran is warning you're going to pay a heavy price for attacking their nuclear and steel plants, and they're throwing all these threats out there. They're trying to say that there's no talks, there's none of this, like you're going to get hit, you're getting ready to get blasted. And I don't know, we're mounting up our troops as I speak in the area, and Trump's like, oh, we won, it's over. It's over, but you're sending troops there more and more as I speak. Like, get out of here. Like, you're not fooling me at this point. Something's about to happen. Look at this move. They're so hell-bent on this front. They are redirecting weapons meant for Ukraine to the Middle East. And this may signal that front may finally dry up. Because they're with no weapons, you're out of it. And Trump keeps saying it's not our war. It hasn't been our war and all this. So if he's doing this, this is going to be a concession to Russia. I'm telling you, on the back end, I'm talking like that's not even talked about in public, because Russia just came out this past week and they were like, yo, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. If you help me over here, if you stop sharing comms with Ukraine, I'll stop sharing comms with Iran. And now look, all of a sudden what he's doing. They're pulling all the weapons out. And they're running stories that Zelensky's been caught trying to work with the Biden administration to rig our last election. Like, you can see where this is going. They're turning on him quick, and they're pulling all the weapons. So this shows, again, if you're pulling out of Iran, why are you pulling all these weapons to the Middle East? Doesn't make no sense there, Trumpy. You're not fooling everybody here. Here's an interesting one, though, that I think everyone should make note of. The IDF chief says that it could collapse due to a lack of manpower. And that may take someone by surprise, but Israel's not big. And you start taking huge hits. I say, when you're not big and you start taking huge hits, it catches up to you fast. There's no other way around it. And some are saying that they bite off more than they could chew with this one. They're going to have to like stop and regroup. Well, if you were to look at what they're saying on the other side of the coin, it's no. It's like they're going to press and they're going to go full blown and keep on hammering. This is why Trump said that there's going to be two different paths. Like, if the U.S. wants to pull out of this, Israel may keep going and keep bombing and attacking, and they're going to be like on their own. Because at some point, all his administration, everyone around him is like, you have to off-ramp. You have to have an off-ramp. He doesn't seem to have a viable one. He keeps saying we won, we're going home. But then you turn around and like we got a horde of Marines in 82nd Airborne heading in that direction. Like, they're there right now tonight. Which means they're organizing and swarming. I don't like the fact that so many of our troops have all of a sudden been projected to the front lines. And like, again, docile, dumbass Americans out there just off in la la land, don't care about nothing. They don't see where this is taking us. They don't, for one, it seems they don't care about the troops, and they don't care about blowback. They care about nothing. So those of you that take the time to heed these signs, man, God bless you. And God bless your families that you guys survive the madness coming. Because so many are going to be caught off guard. Huge blowback is coming. I mean, for crying out loud, you killed the Ayatollah Khomeini, and like that alone is going to bring jihad on that this place has never seen. So Trump says that we got a big present from Iran, and that it's 10 oil tankers to pass through the Straits of Hormuz. Like, some present. Like, everyone thought it was something different, but yeah, they let 10 tankers go through, and that's the present? Are you kidding me? Like,
they said to show you
The fact that we're real
But
and solid.
that's what he says here. I'm not going to play that clip there, but and then I've got some other clips here. This one has to do with him calling the Strait of Trump. He's not kidding. Like he is, but he isn't. Like he's so egotistical, just like the Gulf of America. Many people still calling it the Gulf of Mexico. Many books will still teach kids in school tomorrow morning that it's called the Gulf of Mexico. But he named it the Gulf of America because he wanted to, right? That's the whole thing. And if he orders the people that make maps, I mean, for crying out loud, the people that made the history books was the Maxwells with the Epsteins. I mean, these circles, man, I'm telling you, it's insane. It's insane. This whole thing is fraudulent, but I wouldn't doubt it if he did it. I want to point out that 13 bases are uninhabitable. Did you know this? Most people, again, don't have no clue the damage we've taken already in this war. 13 U.S. bases are uninhabitable. Iran's wiped them out. So it's like, let's just not talk about nothing, not admit nothing, not say anything. And then once a certain amount piles up, they're like, oh yeah, well, 13 bases are wiped out. Like completely. Uninhabitable. This is the exact words used. Not can go in, reconstruct, rebuild, uninhabitable. So, what? Yep, that's what they're saying. So, we're not positioned close around them at all. We had 50 to 60,000 troops in the bases around Iran. We pulled a bunch of them out of those bases when them strikes started happening. Kept a minimal amount at certain bases. And I shared with you some of the footage from those bases. They were getting, the guys that stayed were catching footage of like hypersonics coming down like 50 yards away, 100 yards away. Crazy footage. Ultimately, all the bases they pulled out of that were close, in very close proximity, they got wiped out. Okay? Let me make this clear again on where this war sits. All of our bases, forward bases, at least 13 of them here, wiped out. Okay? So this is not going the way they want it. Okay? Hundreds of troops dead. Again, the American public should be protesting this. This war under Trump that we don't need. It's affecting the gas pumps and everything. Wait till he hits like $5 a gallon or something. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Like, he don't care this time because he doesn't have to run again. The one that's really hurting is Vance. And he would have to like break away from him in the mix of all this or at some point. He is taking an anti-Iran and an anti-war stance. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to save him in the end. People are like, you should have done more. And, all this damage is really hurting Vance, in my opinion. But it didn't matter. They did all this. They did all this to get Trump to this point to where the gloves were off and he could do this. And he's doing it. To the detriment of everything. So Iran, they go on TV and they declare 1 million soldiers are ready to bring hell to American forces. They're mobilized, they're ready, 1 million, ready to rock. If they want to try a ground invasion, if they want to try to pull the crap, let me tell you something. 7,000 Marines are not taking on a 1 million-man army. It's never going to happen here. These troops are embedded everywhere in every city, in every town, all over. There would be so many casualties and civilians if you tried, if this breaks loose. Like, this is not where they want to take this, but they just might. Like, I don't know. This is the last boogeyman. Like Iran, you know what I'm saying? You could argue they've wiped out most of the leadership, but have they? Trump says they've won, but have they? But have they? You know, what's the real end game goal here? You know, when you look back at Iraq, and this is from all the stuff I've seen from all the years, and what we were fed when it happened, and the truth of everything we discovered after Iraq, well, they lied to us through and through. You would have thought when we were going to war with Iraq, but they were selling it to like, oh, we're going to be having 50 cent a gallon oil gas, you know, because we're going to a war. We're going to get all this oil. That's how they presented it. And it like had some people like support it out there. You've seen it because they bought into it, right? They were fed the story, right? Well, when I look back, some of the biggest things that went down in Iraq was we stole their gold. We established a government that would listen and like work with our government, unlike what Saddam was doing. But more than anything, it was the stories of what they were seizing, the ancient stuff they were after. And yes, it goes back to the talk of a Stargate. This is ancient Babylon. Come on, man. They even discovered and dug up the body of Gilgamesh. And then it vanished. Those are the key, huge, massive things that it was all about to me. All those big things. Because there was no other advantage. There was no other thing. There was no other big reason for going in there and doing that. It's what they did. And see, they couldn't go in and explore everywhere in the country like they did. All these little nooks and crannies without being militarily secure. So they had to go in the way they did because of what they were doing. They pitched it a different way. You seen they rounded up Saddam and all this other stuff, but they were still the story. They went on. They had all the vaults of gold, all the pictures, but still they were going into these ancient areas. But why? There were no soldiers there. Okay, and they were taking equipment and all this other stuff. But why? Well, we know why. You see, Iran is the last stepping stone. Persia. Ancient Persia. Do you know of the sites that sit there? And I'm going to put up right next to it one other place left, and it's Turkey. They think that they're allied and buddied with Israel and the U.S., but there's a reason the Mossad dropped the video the other day of the Ayatollah killed, his son killed, and at the end of the video, who was sitting there looking at a picture? Erdogan of Turkey. Like, you're next. Sure did. Sure did. And that's ancient land. Guess where the Germans went in and found the throne of Zeus? Like Satan, how they worshipped it, of the fallen, their king fallen. It was in Turkey, and they took it brick by brick with them out of there, back to their country, and stole it. Pergamum, all these places, Turkey houses, Göbekli Tepe, one of the most ancient places out there. Are you kidding me? Like, the history they don't want you to know, and they want to keep secret, and what they want to go and discover for themselves sits in these places. And see, Erdogan's government stops ours from going in there and doing that. This is the same as the Ayatollah in Iran does. So these guys are on the same mission, I'm telling you, that Hitler was on. They're Indiana Jonesing it. They're on the same mission to find these ancient things and technologies, the exact same mission. And the only way to do it and to get into these places of people that don't see it your way is to force your way in war. And that's all it's been. Even in Libya, ancient Libya, It's going to come down. You could argue, to Egypt on the map, but El-Sisi is his bloodline and root runs right back to Mossad, right through Israel, selling out those people there. We've reported on this. We know all of this. It too is. It's all known there. Look, I just came out. If you missed it, a new update. Look at this stuff. Crazy ancient stories getting updated in real time here, just slipping by the average Joe because stuff's so crazy. Egypt just came out and said they believe there's a second Sphinx buried in the mirror opposite spot from where the current one sits. And that they have proof of it. They showed the LiDAR. They showed where it sits, the shape. There's a big dome mound above it, all of it. And they said what's even crazier is there's a huge mega structure sitting underneath the sand in Giza. They finally said it, meaning all the shafts that go underneath the Sphinx and down to Osiris's tomb and all these mystery spots. They're saying it's there. It's all there, and that they're continuing to scan it now. Now, this reminds me of back in the day. I'm talking a long time ago. Zawi Hawa, whatever his name is, came on TV, and they took us down the shaft to Osiris's chamber, and then there was another one going underneath the paw of the Sphinx. And I'll never forget, it was to be continued. We'll come back and show you where that goes, and they never ever did. We're lucky they showed us what they showed us, and Osiris's tomb underwater and all that in the bottom. If you guys never seen that or knew it happened, you missed a piece of history because they did. And that's as far as they went. Okay, but we know there's more. We know that it's written that in the 20s and 30s, they took concrete on some of those pathways, those little tubes that were going underneath the Sphinx, and they filled them with concrete to try to seal everything off. Well, if you don't know, there is a plaque that sits between the paws of the Sphinx. And on that plaque, it shows two Sphinx. Shows two Sphinx. So all this starts to become a game changer. Remember just last year what they came out and said? Game changing. There's huge shafts going down like a mile or something crazy underneath the pyramids. And they're like, wrapped in a coil. They're like huge energy conductors, and the thing goes way down underground, way deeper than what the pyramids even stand tall. Insane. They told us this. And you're going to tell me man did this? Again, stupid ass humans running around here like dumbasses, not asking questions, not doing nothing, head stuck in their phone, a phone they should be seeking knowledge out of, but they're lost. They're lost with entertainment material items or something, I guess. We're in a weird moment. From here on out, they're going to clamp down. They don't like this. They don't like that we have knowledge. They don't like what we're doing right now. That we're talking about these things, spreading knowledge. They're going to stop all this. I'm telling you, I'm warning you. At some point, it's going to stop it. Is it get it while the getting is good? There's going to be a day in the offing, maybe 5 years from now, where you can't even get on the internet and research things like you remember doing back on a night like tonight. I'm warning you. It's coming. You know it's coming. When the beast clamps down, it's all coming. You won't even be able to get into the system unless you've bowed down to the beast, taken the mark. You have to prove. It's coming. Look, 1,000,000-man army waiting for our troops in Iran. I don't like this. Well, I'll close with the whole war thing with this. And then some final thoughts. They're laying booby traps all across these islands. Look, right here. Iran, booby traps all across the place. Our troops are smoked. Like, it's just a big booby trap waiting. Russia is sending in drone shipments left and right. So it's like, they're definitely supplying the weaponry that's going to be killing our troops. You could see it that way, Nug. Either way, yes, definitely tied massively into the power conduction, and thank you for that. Um, Infrastructure. I think our infrastructure is going to get attacked big time. There's some of the key things that I guess there's a reason the lights went out on me in here tonight, kind of to rebuff that whole thought that it's about to happen, like it's here. I done warned you all through this month coming up. What is the date right now? The 27th. The next 30-day window up to April 24th. You gotta watch everything. If there's big lights out event, man, or big anything, there's gonna be a series of events as it is. But I'm watching the things like the lights out in California, even though there's some that are like, it might not be nothing, but without a cause, right now it just seems like little test runs are going down and like something big could go down. The Philippines declaring a state of emergency over an energy crisis. So let's think about that. Imagine this war gets drug out for whatever reason. This becomes a crisis here in terms of energy. All of a sudden, you're going to see laws. We're already seeing it rolled out. If you missed the last stream, I had a guy come on, a biker guy, say, hey, if you're in Minnesota, heads up. They're trying to pass a bill, and it's going to spread everywhere. So this is what's coming. Saying that you can't ride your motorcycle, your old school hot rods, on any day but Sunday. And that if you want to ride during the week, you got to get a permit. Dude, this is garbage. I guess people are just going to sit there with their mouth shut, lay down, take it, let it happen. I don't even want to be in an area associated with people like that. Like, you got to start to rise and stand for something. But you're talking the same Minnesota that's seeing all the chaos and all that stuff unfold up there and all that. They're definitely putting it to them up there. So Philippines declaring an energy crisis. I showed you the last stream. Australia, people were at the pump flipping out. Gas through the roof. Australia, like the gas cut off because of all this. They're feeling it hard. They've buffered it here in America a little bit. But I'm telling you, if this continues, the day that you hear like, big, huge stuff has happened, it could be any day now, like oil runs like 200 plus, 250, a barrel, and it goes bananas. We've entered COVID 2.0, so to speak. That's what you're going to see said. But it's not connected to a sickness or an illness. It's connected to energy. Like, it's lockdowns. This is how it should be called, 2.0. And it's energy-wise. Same concept. It's controlling people, and it's through energy. And it's just another form, another beta. Okay? And it'll probably last for a second. You seen that? How what they pushed? Why would it not? You seen what they pushed last time? It went for years, a couple years, before everything started to fully recover. 2020, 21, and 2022, before everything finally started to, pull out of it. So these people, these nutcases, are prepared to put us in lockdowns again. Again, this could go. What was the curve? 2 weeks, that turned into years. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I feel Trump's playing the same thing with we won. We won. Extend the deadline 5 days, 10 days, and like a couple series of events happens, changes everything. We get a battleship sunk out there, changes everything. We get attacked on the home front by a bunch of drones, and they take credit, changes everything. Lights out, changes everything. You feel me? This war will go and it won't stop, just as designed. You've got all of our weaponry over there, like on deck, positioned. We're ready for like World War III. Like, there's like nothing else you could send. Like, bombers are in position, 82nd Airborne, Marines, submarines, CIA on the ground, infiltrating on the ground. Like everything you can think of is in place. You see, and they don't have, even Trump will tell you, they don't have any real legitimate leadership they're talking to because they killed everybody. The idiots couldn't even keep their main guys alive that they had spent time working on, that was feeding them information that they didn't even care about. They just said, oh, screw it, they're just collateral damage, we'll just pick somebody else. Like you see how they do their people? They do everybody. They just don't care. They're dirty. They'll kill anybody and everybody. And just remember when Israel and the U.S. started striking and they hit a school, wiped out a bunch of school children, Iran didn't return with the same nastiness like that. They did not. Okay? That somebody else can go do something and try to blame it on them. But they did not respond like that. And by and large, man, this is not the Iranian people's fault, man. At all. They don't need to suffer. I'm sure there's millions of good people over there, good-hearted people, just like there are any place around the planet that are going to get caught in this. But that's what the powers that be want. Nobody here cares, right? They don't care until the lights go out on them. Then they'll care. Then it's too late. You see, the lights may not go out because of just an attack or plot. They may go out because of, hear me clearly, blackouts or brownouts. Easy. Your energy company saying, yo, we can't do it. This is a rough one. You guys are going to have to cut back. And when they begin that talk, it never goes away. Just ask the folks where it's begun. It never went away. So in energy war, yeah, you betcha. They wouldn't miss this for nothing. So, Russia, the US, everyone's tied into this whole thing. And energy is going to be a key thing forever. In natural gas, all that, not talked about as much in the summer because it's not winter, but that's the lifeline in the winter. And I've said forever, the world's a stage. They play these things out. They call them theaters of war. But look at it. The only reason that Europe has survived at all, any winter ever, is because Russia keeps it all flowing in that direction. Year after year, even throughout the whole Ukraine war, all Russia and Belarus and all the allies ever had to do, and Iran, China, is pull the plug, stop all minerals, all flow of everything, all natural gas, and it would have left them in the cold and they'd be dead. And see, that's what you would do in a real war situation, like 1,000 years ago when the Mongols would go through every city and kill everybody. They don't care. That's what a real war's like. When it's staged and faked effery, it's like this. You're telling me you let your enemy survive all winter long when you could have killed them? Something don't smell right around here. It's because the world's a stage. Don't you ever forget it. It's the elite in every country that sold the people out. And it's we the people in every country, every color, and religion that have been sold out. But that's who we ride for. Everywhere. A salute to all of you that fight the good fight, because without you, we wouldn't have nothing. 570 for regular here on the Big Island. 524 premium tonight in Northwest Indiana. Guys checking in. Well, yeah, give me your prices there. Check in. Might as well here at the end. Wind it down. Get some final thoughts. Ain't gonna end it right this moment. Thank you, someone, for the coffees. Get some final thoughts. And some shout outs to my cats in the chat. Pull up also D Live over here real quick. I want to thank everyone that does join us, hang out with us. me go to my channel. And for those that don't know, over on D Live, it allows you to load up a chest that I can bust open and share with the people watching over there. So everyone watching over there you go. 1,000 in the chest for you. I thank you guys. I am streaming on just YouTube and D Live right now. I may up it if I can get through some streams with like no issues. $10 to $12 a gallon. New Zealand, what are you doing, Mel? What are you millionaire? Like, or some shit. Like, I mean, for real, like, how can you afford to even? I was seeing Central Coast, Cali, they're $5.49 premium. Then I seen that Geo $7.30 premium in Southern California. Now I was expecting something like that out of you, and to see that, but when I saw the $10 to $12 a gallon New Zealand, what is going on? See a lot of all right, seeing them all come through now. Diesel $5.50 a gallon, Sarasota, Florida, and that's something to watch too there, Kenny, because that affects all the companies, all the drivers, even all the farmers. Every tractor out there is taking diesel. Okay, so this affects us big time. Watching this, we got to stay on top of this. This is why we do this. And thank you, Deanne, for everything. Again, I think you sent me a message. I didn't even have a chance to get back to you. And thank you just for all, everything, all the prayers, all of you, Snowball, Pixie, Tooch, Steeler. I know some of us are going to meet. Did you hear me? I know that some of us will meet in the flesh here at some point in time. I know this. What capacity, where, how, all that, I don't know. Jay from the Ville again, brother. You'll be one of them. There's Kev Barr right on cue. Much love, my brother. He just, all right. And thank you for chiming in with breaking news like this, and thank you for the super chat. He just received an Apple News alert that at least 10 U.S. troops have been wounded in an Iranian attack on a Saudi airbase, per the Washington Post. All right, there you go. That is escalation. This is late night, so this is going to be running all through the feeds tomorrow, all through the weekend. This is going to give Trump ammunition to say we're pounding them, we're doing this and that, whatever. Watching stuff just like this is what we're going to have to do. This isn't going away anytime soon, man. I don't think. Black Cat, Tiger, Welly, much love to all you guys over there on D Live. Break this down with some final thoughts here now. And thank you, Steely, for everything. Much love, DJ, Power, Artsy, Truth, Last Stand, all you guys, man. Navy Proud Mom, Bubba One, and yeah, prayer for all of our troops that are out there. If you got someone thinking about joining the military, don't let them. You need to educate them on who the real enemy is and where. And you know where. And stop playing that. But if they're already in, and there's no choice, and they're out there full-heartedly, obviously, to defend this country, in a position, and they're there, all you can do is pray with all your heart that they're successful. They come back home alive. And pray for the safety, right? We don't want to see none of our troops injured. Although I would rather see anyone that's going to defend this place defend right here. And as we said at the top of the stream and keep saying, not out there fighting a senseless war and starting stuff, which, maybe people will start protesting now. And if this is what it takes, if this is what it took, guess what? I'll be there. I will be there. If I can make it happen, you tell me. If you've got a protest, if you're affected, your neighborhood, your place having a big anti-Trump, anti-war protest, and you need coverage, if I can do it, if I get advance notice and I can make it, I'd love to be there, stream, cover it, get attention on it. We need more of it. Maybe we could set an example and other people will step up in other towns and cities. And maybe, just maybe, something will spring to life, city by city, town by town, all across the country throughout the summer, the spring and summer. It's something we haven't seen in a long time, and we need it. Deanne, thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Much love to the fullest. I wish you well. I'm not going to dare ask you how old you are, but how old? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Ain't nobody trying to throw their age out there, right? But I will. I am 45. Again, born in 1980. Lived this crazy time. When I look back at it, I can see my life coming into an age, of before there was pagers or cell phones to living through it all, through the era of the pagers and the cell phones, all the way to now, thus far to 2026 and beyond, and all the tech we got now. It's been crazy. Whoever's 27, man, I remember where I was on my 30th birthday very vividly, more so than a lot of the others. Because come on, I've got 46 birthdays. Didn't remember a bunch in my life. Can't recall, but I remember one specifically that stands out. And I was in my apartment, had my computer in front of me, and I turned 30 years old. In my 20s were at that stroke of midnight behind me. I cried. It's crazy. And I sat there and reflected deep, so deep that it hangs with me to this day as a memory and reflection of where I was in life, that many 30 years had went by like that so quick. And can you believe it's like I look at it like it was yesterday, but that was 16 years ago. Nuts. Time flies, and you know it, man. Make the most of every day. You're not promised the next. And it can only get worse. We're not promised forever. You're only going to get older. Ailments are only going to get worse, right? Things like that. I mean, you can live healthy to the fullest, but just naturally, as you get older, you get older. So enjoy every day, man. Make the most of it. Before it's all over, man. Get some, if I could say anything, get some enjoyment in with friends and family and start to make a change the best you can. Now, for those of you that hang in here to the end, you people always mean the most to me because you hang in there to the end. That means more than anything in life in general. So I love you. I thank you for those that hang all the way to the end. I'll leave you with this. I've discovered, I've become, because I am the one that brings amazing change everywhere I go. Because I can speak it into existence, and so can you. I am the man, the one in my neck of the woods, and you can be the same in yours. Because I can't go everywhere. You need to be. That's why I'm saying this. I am the one that delivers the message of Jesus to people everywhere I go. And what I mean by that is I carry with me these little Jesuses. And I have my own testimony over and over. Almost it could be on a daily basis whenever we're out. Whenever I give them out, it changes someone in a way to where even if I gave them money, giving them this changes them in such a profound way. It changes their day. It changes their mood. And it began when I was in a DA office having to deal with a bunch of madness. And these people were treating me like garbage. And like I couldn't take it. My spirit, I couldn't take it. I'm a righteous person. And like tears started flowing down my face. I could not help it. It just happened. It just could not help it. And I reached my pocket and there were the Jesuses that I had. And I couldn't even speak. And I slid it underneath the glass because it was like I was in a jail type of atmosphere under the glass to this lady on the other side that was being mean. And she instantly changed. It broke the demon in her. Instantly, it melted off her. She apologized. She's seen I was crying. All this. The whole mood changed. And by the time I left out of that day, I had to do a bunch of running. By the time I left and I walked out the doors that day, she made it a point to get my attention, to lock eyes with me and say, I thank you. And if I'd have gave her 20, slid a $20 bill in it, I wouldn't have got the response that I got from her heart and her soul, is what I'm trying to tell you. And when I went over to the library, I did the same thing. And I shook a lady. It shook her. When I was in the hospital here recently, just no testimony, many testimonies, but there was this, I gave many, but there was one in particular that stood out that just, you could tell by the tone of their voice that like they crumble. And they thank you. And it's a power of the Spirit that you can share. And I did it in the doctor's office, and I've never had a doctor pray over me. And a doctor prayed over me this week. He prayed over me. And on my way out, right on the other side of the computer, the lady couldn't see it, but I had a whole handful of Jesuses, and I lined them up there. I guarantee you somebody come up and said something later about, oh, I like your little Jesuses. She was like, what Jesuses? And would have stood up and seen them all there. But I'm that man. I'm the one that everyone knows where I come and I go. That's the man that brings the little Jesuses. And they know me, and they know the energy. You should be the same. You should walk with the message. And you can be. You never thought you could do something or change something? I'm giving you it tonight. I'm giving you a torch to carry. You watch. It's a power. You watch. You watch. It's a power. Every little city I go. I ain't going there with the song. I take it's with these. So you can get a little box, $120. You can change lives, handing them out. That's all I'm saying. And it's part of the mission. It's been life-changing. That's my testimony to it. So if you're ever around these parts of Kentucky, anyone ever mentions, the man that goes around, the Jesus man, that will be me. And I'm not going to be coming to your town anytime soon, I'm sure. So you need to be the change you seek. You can be that person. And it's an amazing thing because you don't have to go around doing anything but what I just said. You don't have to go around doing anything but what I just said to spread the message. It can be without a word being said. And again, without a word being said. And the energy translates. Bless them with the Holy Spirit, with prayers. Do righteousness with them. I'm telling you. You could go around and you can do a lot of things. Like I said, you could give a prayer to someone and they could appreciate it. You could give a $20 bill, $50 bill, $100 bill to someone and they could appreciate it. But the reaction will never be the same as that. I'm telling you, just from my own life experience. So I'll give you one there. Let's see who goes out there and is the light in the darkness. So I love it. I love it because I don't leave without digging into that box, getting a handful before I head out. And the day I die, I have some in my pockets. I'm sure. Yeah. So it's all about the message is the point. And if it helps you to spread the message and to bring that positiveness into an atmosphere, so be it. Speak change. Speak life. You've heard it, but do it. Speak everything. Stop saying bad things that you can't, that you're too tired to do this. You're too sick. You're sick and tired of this. Stop saying those things. Start correcting yourself. Stop putting out a signal of want, of need. Start envisioning yourself when you fall asleep of being where you want to be. Smell the air in that location. Be in that location. And soon, you will surely be. The secrets to this game. If you seek, you will find. Let me see here. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to see if I've got, try a reshare on the screen. Since we shut down earlier, I think it messed with my audio all the way out here. It was playing. My bad. The shutdown messed me all up earlier. All right, so much love, everybody. Crown Jewels. Holla at me. I got an AI suite program. I'm halfway through me and Hoodie's song. Bonnie Clyde's next and more. And I'm bringing it. Much love tunes. All the mods. John Boy. Thank you so much for everything. Cute City in the house. Free energy. Anna.